Okay, I'm going to make scones, the quickest and really easiest thing to do. You don't need lots of ingredients. So I've got 200 grams of self-raising flour, 50 grams of margarine. I'm going to rub those together with my fingertips to start with. Once you've rubbed it into it's like fine breadcrumbs, then you're going to add in whatever extra ingredients you want to flavour your scones with. And it can be basically anything. You can do savoury scones with cheese and mustard in, with chopped up tomatoes in, with vegetables in. I'm going to do sweet scones, so I'm going to add 50 grams of sugar and some chopped up cherries. So that goes in now. And I'm going to stir that through to make sure that it's well mixed in before I put my liquid in. Now the liquid to bind it together that I'm going to use, I'm going to put an egg in, but you don't have to put an egg in. You can just put milk in. So I'm going to put one egg in and make it up to 100 millilitres with milk. So if you're putting an egg in, just beat the egg into the milk. You don't need to put all the egg in there, all the mixture in though, because it'll depend on what extra ingredients you have put in, how much milk or binding liquid you need. So I'm going to put just over half in, and then I'm going to stir it in with a knife. Scones don't need to be overworked. Once you've put the liquid in, then you shouldn't work them much. You shouldn't be stirring them lots and lots. Now I can see that that's still quite dry, so I'm going to need to put some more liquid into that to stick that together. So about half what I've got left. Stir that in. Then I'm going to try and get it into a bowl, because although it looks quite dry, once you put your hand in there, it won't be. So get that together. You can see already it's sticking to my fingers. Just squeeze it into a bowl. Now what you could do is, if you've got some cutters, press it down and cut some shapes out of it. What I'm going to do to make it easier if you're at home without cutters is just make one big scone, which I'm going to score into sections so that you can cut them up or break them off once it's cooked. So into a bowl, and then put it onto my surface. Then I'm going to press it down to it's about a couple of centimetres, which is about from your thumb to your first knuckle. Doesn't need to be any thinner than that. Now if you're going to use a cutter, cut as many as you can out of the first one. If not, if you're like me and you're going to make it just one scone, just get it into a circular shape. And that's it. You can either grease or flour your baking tray, and then you're going to remove this and put it onto your baking tray. Get it back into its shape if it's lost its shape. And then you're going to score it down into the separate scones. Not right the way through, but quite a long way through, because what you're going to find is it's going to rise up anyway. I'm going to make 8 scones out of this one. If you've got any egg mixture left, what you can do is dab it onto the top. This will give it a nice glaze. So you don't need a pastry brush to do this, just use your fingers. Goes into a very hot oven for 10 minutes, so 200 degrees or gas mark 7. If the scone doesn't seem to be cooking in the middle, the best thing to do is cut it into the slices, into the segments, pull them apart slightly and put it back in the oven for 5 minutes. That will get right to the centre and cook it all the way through. Happy eating!